What's up, Jimbos and Jimbets? The last couple of uploads on this channel, we have gone through some gold stakes, some more of the rough decks on gold stake. We did 2 videos covering the black deck and 2 videos covering the plasma deck. And we have procured a 3-deck win streak. We got 1 win on the black deck and then 2 wins on the plasma deck, because the plasma deck I was trying to, like, you know, showcase and teach and be like, okay, plasma deck is difficult. How do we win this? And instead of getting runs where I could properly, like, teach people that, if we look at our card stats, we got runs where we got Brainstorm, Mail-In, Blueprint, and Wii, like, all back to back to back. So that was, you know, there was not much teaching going on. It was just kind of we win for free. Let me turn off the chat box real quick, because that's also just sitting there for no reason. That's my bad. Anyway, so now that we have a three-game win streak across black and plasma decks. The last video that I made, I said that we would attempt the Doc Spectred challenge if chat was interested. If we ended up getting a win streak, and like I said, we do have this 3-game win streak, so we're going to attempt the Doc Spectred challenge, which, if you don't know the Doc Spectred challenge, the challenge is get a 15 win streak on every deck. Like, not, okay, get a 15 win streak total, 1 win with each deck, since there are 15 decks. And so we've won with the black deck. I won with the plasma deck twice, so we're going to have to get a 16 streak total if we are trying to win the challenge. But I think that's relatively feasible. And so the next question is, I obviously wanted to start with the black deck and the plasma deck just to get them out of the way, because they're the most difficult. So the next question that we have to answer before we even go into a match is, well, what deck do we think, if we're trying to streak, we want to get the less consistent stuff out of the way so that the more consistent stuff can be towards the end, and so we can just, like, kind of coast to victory, so to speak. So we have to answer, what is the 3rd hardest deck in the game? For me, I have kept a spreadsheet of all of my gold stake stats since I got C++. All of my gold stake stats on stream. You can check that out. It's linked in my Twitch bio. I could also, let me copy it and put it in my clipboard so that I can put it in the description of this YouTube video as well. But I have all of my stats kept track of, and one of the things that I keep track of is win rate per deck. My worst deck on stream is actually Plasma. My worst deck in general is Black deck, but because I'm not keeping track of the 2 games that I won with on the YouTube channel with Plasma, my worst deck is Plasma. Second worst is Black. Very reasonable stuff there. Actually, no. On stream, my 3rd worst deck is Black. There's actually a different deck that is worse than Black deck for me. And that deck is Red deck. I think Red deck is actually an above average deck. I don't know why my win rate with it is so buns right now. But apparently my 2nd worst deck post C++ is Red deck, where I have, it is a very small sample size of like 7 games, but I have a roughly 30% win rate with it. I've won 2 games out of 7 on stream. So we're going to go with Red deck gold stake and see if we can keep the streak alive. As always, hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Hope you can take some knowledge with you from this video. Hopefully get better at your gold stake runs. I appreciate y'all for watching. Let's get into it. So what makes the red deck above average? What makes it special? Well, we have this extra discard. I'm going to get rid of this 3 because I believe we need a better club to win here, and we have the 3 discards from the red deck, so that's fine. We get the winning flush. So the red deck has the extra discard. So why is this important? Well, there's a lot of stuff that synergizes with discards. Obviously, Mail-In is better, Faceless Joker is better, Purple Seals are better, etc. and so on. But Red deck also promotes the playing of bigger hands because you have the more discards. Okay, this is a very interesting shop. We are at a crossroads. I'm going to keep yapping for a second. We're going to put a pin in that, though, because wow. With the extra discard, you can see, excuse me, more cards from your deck. And so it's a lot... It's kind of like Blue Deck Light. You get none of the econ benefits of Blue Deck, but you still have the advantage of you can see more cards from your deck, so you need to do less deck fixing to make stronger hands more overall powerful. Usually, I still end up going with pairs on Red deck, just because on such a, like, bland deck, pairs are just kind of the meta always. But you can get away for sure with going for, like, 3 of a kind, or even if you get, like, good fixing, you can go for, like, straights or things of the like. But I think pairs are fine. Honestly, I think you could probably force 2 pair extremely consistently on the red deck, so maybe that's something we could look into. Anyway, this is a very interesting shop. So, for starters, clubs boss. That's not going to matter for any of these decisions. Rental rocket is a little bit annoying because we do just have to eat the rental fee if we go with this in the early game. But us getting this rocket in ante 1 essentially translates to we have to pay the rental fee for this next big blind. Once we go to the boss blind, it pays for itself because we'll cash out $3 after we beat this boss. And then after the ante 2 boss, it's just profit. So we have to take an immediate loss on this, but then essentially for every blind after this big blind, we're getting like buku bucks from it, which is pretty cool. Probably there's 2 lines that I see in this shop. One of which is rocket for econ, and then we go into this Buffoon Pack for some kind of like ideally a molt joker so that we can win the big blind in one hand, and then maybe the rental fee is a bit less of a pain in the ass. If we can win in one hand, because then we convert our 3 leftover hands to paying for the rental fee because they gave us $3. That's one route we could go here. The other route that I want to talk about is just buying shortcut straight up. I've said it in videos past in this like gold stake, I guess like teaching series that I've been doing for the past week, where I just pre-record gold stake videos and I'm like, hey, this is, you know, how you play the runs. I've mentioned this briefly. I've mentioned it in my tier list. I think shortcut, unironically, depending on the deck, obviously, because every deck has certain technologies within the deck that do better or worse. So depending on the deck, but in general, I think shortcut is the most slept on joker for gold stake in this entire game. I think if you are not taking shortcut, you should be taking shortcut more often. Shortcut allows straights to be made with gaps of 1 rank, and so they give you the example of 10, 8, 6, 5, 3. That would count as a straight for the shortcut. The early game, this is not going to matter, which is why I'm a little skeptical to take this, because if I take the shortcut right now, and then we just don't see a molt joker in our next couple of shops, we probably just die. But with the red deck especially, this is very enticing. Shortcut based on vibes. I say it every time, I don't have any like actual tangible data to back this claim up. But I've taken shortcut quite a few times, so I can say strictly based off of vibes, shortcut makes straights about as likely to draw as 2-pair, I would say. They're not exactly... Some people that I've talked to say they're as likely as pairs. I think that's just straight up not true. I think they are not as likely as pairs, so if you're trying to pair max, maybe shortcut is still like less consistent than that line, but they're about as likely as 2 pairs. I think if you are using your discards efficiently, you can get a straight in your hand every time that you try and play a hand. I think you need to use hands as discards a very low amount of times for shortcut. So why is shortcut that good? Well, it's because of one major thing. If we take a look at our collection here and go to our planet cards, it's because of the Saturn card. The Saturn card gives you +3 molt and +30 chips, which is the same scaling rate as 4 of a kind. And so if we take shortcut, we are essentially, like with pairs, you get +15 chips, +1 molt. This is triple the molt. This is +200% molt and +100% chips per planet card, which is very, 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 very good. The nature of shortcut allows you to hold blue seals in your hand maybe slightly more efficiently, so you're seeing more planet cards from your blue seals and stuff like that. It is essentially... Shortcut turns into a quasi-scaling molt and scaling chips joker, because shortcut allowing you to play straights so consistently means that you kind of don't need to run scaling molt jokers, or any flat molt joker for that matter, because once you get to like a level 10 straight, you're just going to have such an excess of plus molt. Like once you get to a level 10 straight, you're going to have a 31 plus molt. And with any X molt joker, that's going to be like completely fine. And then like even after that, that's just overkill. Plus the level 10 straight is going to be coming with a bunch of chips on top of that. Just a very good, like it's a scaling joker in disguise, which is why I think it's fantastic. It scales both molt and chips by means of allowing you to play the Saturn cards more consistently, or I guess play straights more consistently, which allows you to look for Saturn cards. Anyway, that out of the way. This is like, I really want to grab shortcut here just because it's like, I would love to be able to showcase how strong shortcut is. But again, it's a little scary because we're going down to $0 if we take this shortcut. So if I don't find it, this essentially boils down to if I don't find a scoring joker or a Saturn card in the next shop, then things get very shaky, to say the very least. I think probably I could still take it here and be completely fine, but I am a little worried about it. So maybe instead we just go for the Rocket Buffoon Pack. I think Rocket Buffoon Pack is probably more safe. I'm going to go for the shortcut, though, because I really want to showcase how good shortcut is. I think shortcut was absolutely bait there, but that's fine. I'm a content creator. I got to go for the bait routes sometimes to showcase the good builds. Okay, so you see right there, we already drew a straight on the top deck with shortcut, which is pretty sick. We scored about 300 points. So with shortcut, we can get it out. We can get out of the boss blind probably pretty consistently as well, which is pretty nice. That was a really bad discard on my end, I'm not gonna lie. We have almost a natty straight here, and then we do end up top decking the natty straight here. A lot of the times, I think the problem that people have with straights as well, this is a problem that a lot of new players have, more so, but also sometimes experienced players with drawing straights. I see a lot of people discarding too few cards. Like they'll get, you know, they'll have a line for a straight where they should be discarding 5, but maybe, you know, they're too enticed by the straight. Like if you have, say you have 9, 8, say on the opening hand specifically, because if it's like, if you've seen your deck, then obviously this changes, but say on the opening hand specifically, you top deck 10, 9, 10, 9, 7, 6. A lot of people will start cycling 4, trying to hit the 7. I think that is never the way that you should play straights. I think that is never the way that you play straights. Or trying to find the 8, sorry. If you top deck 10, 9, 7, 6, a lot of people will try and discard 4, looking for this 8. You are never going to finish that straight because you are looking for 1 card, or I guess 4 cards amongst 52. That is never happening. So a lot of the times what I would recommend is if you top deck 10, 9, 7, 6, and those are your straight angles, go for either one. Go for 7, 6, or go for 10, 9, and then discard everything else. So, like, go for 10, 9, expecting to hit maybe Jack 8, and discard the 7, 6. Don't go for the middle parts of the straight, because you are extremely unlikely to get them. Anyway, side tangent. That is my bad. Splash is terrible, because with shortcut, we're going to be scoring 5-card hands anyway, so Splash does literally nothing for us. We can't afford Andy. We can't afford the Mega Arcana. I think just because we're pretty consistent to win this boss blind with no scoring, I think maybe a route that you could go down if you were not so consistently winning this boss blind is taking Celestial Pack here and trying for a Saturn level. But that's a bit of a gamble for me right now. I think we just go next. More than likely, we can win this boss blind with what we're cooking up right now. Let's go. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, so let's discard for something that we can work with that on. Let's go for this, because if I top deck a queen, then we have 4 to a straight with shortcut, and that's pretty good. Same thing here. Let's discard these. I do have ace 4, 3, 2. That's something. We have a lot of 5s. The issue with that is the issue again with what I just said. We can only hit 5s or 6s to complete this straight. So I think even though this is 4 to a straight, the fact that we are so limited in options to complete the straight, I think we just discard there. We have King, Jack, 10, 9, 7 works for the shortcut. I think this doesn't get us out. No, it doesn't. And then we have King, Queen, Jack, 10, 8 to get us out. We play 3 straights there. Pog, pog, pog. We need some kind of plus mult. If I don't get plus mult in the shop, I need to take a Celestial Pack looking for a Saturn card. We get a Jumbo Buffoon. That's pretty good. Notably, if this was... Okay, some technology here. This says straight flush, so obviously I'm never taking this because I don't think we can play straight flushes. Maybe down the line with the red deck, we could go for straight flushes with shortcut just to be like silly little goofsters. But right now, we're obviously not doing that. If this was upgrade straight by 3 levels, probably I would skip for this after going for this shop, because the small blind, since we're not getting that much money, is not going to be that much value to us anyways, and 3 straight levels is plus 90 chips plus 9 mult. So that would bring our base straight to, what would that be? 120 times 16. That's pretty good. That beats the big blind and the needle in one hand. I believe it would beat the needle in one hand if it was any other boss as well. Maybe not, but it's like pretty close. So I think that would be valuable enough to me where I would want to skip for it, but obviously straight flush is not doing anything, so I'm not taking that. We get Wrathful, Perishable, Drunkard, Perishable, Sly, Reserved. Okay, Reserved is not that good because we're playing 5-card hands. We have an eternal shortcut, so we are committed to 5-card hands unless we get like 4 fingers. We are committed to 5-card hands for the rest of the game, which means absolute maximum if we like Giga Luck top deck. We are playing, we're holding 3 face cards, so the expected value per round on the absolute best reserved parking hit is $1.50. That's really not that good. Sly Joker is never proccing because we're playing straights, and then Drunkard kind of just does nothing because with shortcut I can hit the straights more consistently. There's no value cards in my deck that I would be looking for. Maybe if there was like a blue seal in the deck, I could consider taking a Drunkard, but right now there's just nothing like that. We need Mult, so let's take the Wrathful. The Wrathful is pretty bad here, I'm not gonna lie. But it allows us to survive. The 8-ball I would low-key take here if we didn't take the shortcut. With shortcut, we're only scoring 1/8 per hand. Absolute maximum, which is just not good enough value for 8-ball, even if we have, like, Chad or something. But if we didn't have the shortcut, we could maybe grab the 8-ball in hopes of fixing into 8s for, like, a 3 or 4 of a kind build, especially when we're on the red deck with that +1 discard. That would maybe be a pretty enticing line, but with the shortcut, I think we just go next. I don't think 8-ball is giving us nearly enough triggers to justify me taking it. Okay, we don't have a straight there. We could go for the 4 of down here. I think I'm going to go for this straight up here. Well, I guess we're only hitting 1 spade either way because we have the spades 10 or the spades 6. We're probably not scoring both of those no matter what straight we go for. Let's maybe go for this. Okay, we get a natty straight with 1 Wrathful trigger. This is gonna like almost double the straight score, which is pretty good. Ace King Jack 9-7 is a straight. We have a Wrathful trigger there. That'll be a lot of points. I think this doesn't get us out, but it gets us pretty close. Now we just need 1 more straight. 9-7-6-5-4 is another straight. This gets 2 Wrathful triggers. We're out. Okay. And notably, with 2 Wrathful triggers on 2 straights, we got $14.99 here with 4 total Wrathful triggers. So with 5, we can probably get out of the big blind, no worries. Hermit. This is plus $3 net if I take it right now, or if I hold it, it could be more. This is maybe an area where you could convince me to hold it. Could also take the Eternal Rental red card. I think that's just far too much. That hemorrhages too much money, I think, right now, for me to want to take it. We can get out of the big blind. Let's just take the Hermie card, go next. Could reroll the boss. I don't think we need to whatsoever. That's a straight. This is maybe a bit better because of the Wrathful triggers, so let's do this. 710 points. If I can somehow trigger like 3 spades at once, that would be pretty cool. Let's go for, I guess I could keep the ace. Okay. This probably doesn't win, but it gets us close enough where I'm okay with it. Again, I think if we took the rocket, we would be in a much better, at the very least, a much better financial state right now. We are kind of bleeding money, but the shortcut's funny, so we got to take it. $6 with the cash out. Let's take the Hermit immediately. We can get up to $24. I will be taking Misprint because the needle is a little scary. Let's go Arcana Pack, see what's in here. Best case scenario is money. We get Tower, Star, Zawarudo. Probably we want to Zawarudo for more consistent Wrathful hits just for right meow. I think probably none of those matter late game, but early game at least, that's fine. And okay, this is why I opened the Celestial Pack. The Saturn card is going to allow us to score immensely more points and then let's just go next. Needle is probably free as long as we don't A, Giga top deck, or B, as long as Misprint plays nicely. That's kind of a tall order, maybe. 3 discards. I think I'm just going to discard kind of greedily. Could play a straight flush here just for the meme, or at least go for one, because this straight should win. We do not get the straight flush. So let's play. This is a level 2 straight with 4 Wrathful triggers. This should win before Misprint, but we kind of just took Misprint as a, like, as an oh shit button, if you will, just in case that maybe didn't win. $7. The Arrowhead, the foil Arrowhead, that is immense chips for the early game. If this was Plasma, I would be ecstatic to see this. Did we hit Zawarudo in the beginning of the game? What was our boss at the beginning of the game? I actually don't remember. Was it Goad? I kind of wish I was paying attention, because if it was Goad, that's maybe some incentive to just take this Arrowhead, and then we can get goofy with it and play straight flushes. Maybe I just play straight flushes anyway, just because it's funny. We are on the red deck, and we've taken a Zawarudo card. Let's go Arcana Pack first, just to see if we can get some money. We do not get any money, but a Priestess with a Saturn card would be pretty cool. We get Priestess Neptune. Let's take the foil Arrowhead. It at least increases our score for right now, and it could allow us to get a bit goofy in the future with some straight flush action. I think that's pretty funny. Let's play the straight here. And with the foil Arrowhead, we just win. Probably, depending on the Misprint hit, we would have won anyway, but I digress. Eternal Business card. Maybe. Probably with Shortcut, we're only scoring... Without Shortcut, we're scoring maximum 3 face cards per hand. With Shortcut, maybe it's like 2. I feel like maybe this is not worth the Eternal slot, but we are kind of starved for cash. Part of that is my own doing, because I've been spending pretty aggressively. But I'm trying to fix for straight flushes, because I think it would be funny. Let's maybe just go next. Charm tag there. Probably I don't want it. I can do this. I have the straight. Let's just ship it. We get 2 Arrowhead hits plus the foil. This almost assuredly wins. $9. The Astronomer is pretty fantastic value. So I talked about this briefly in a different episode. I think it was one of the Plasma Deck episodes. Astronomer costs $8, and you can sell it for $4. So essentially, you want to get $4 of value on Astronomer to make it worth. I think if your Joker slots are already full, Astronomer is pretty questionable to slot in. But when we have this free slot, we literally need to see... If we see 1 planet card in the shop, we get 3 out of our $4 of value that we need for this to be worth it. And if we see literally any Celestial pack in the shop, it is absolute minimum we break even on value, but more than likely if it's like a Jumbo or a Mega Celestial, we're actually getting extra value out of this. So I think on an empty slot, we just always take that, especially so on a Shortcut build, because straight Saturn cards are like so much scoring. I think that's completely reasonable. The Mouth, we want to go for straights instead of straight flushes. Maybe if we got like a goofy little top deck there where it gave us a straight flush. That's not something that we want to do on the Mouth. 2 Arrowhead hits. I think if Misprint gets a good hit, we'll probably be fine to win. If not, then we can definitely win in 2. Misprint is pretty nice to us. That's huge. Raised Fist. Raised Fist I don't like on normal straight builds, because straights you kind of have to, like, you know, you're not really allowed to keep, like normally with Raised Fist, you play it with pairs, and then you just cycle the low end. If you play maybe a pair of jacks, and you have, like, 2, 3, 4 in your hand, you just play the pair of jacks, cycle the 2, 3, 4, and then maybe the next highest card is, like, an 8, and you get extra mult. So normally you're not allowed to cycle the lower cards with straights, but maybe with Shortcut straights specifically, that's, like, something that you can kind of do. So maybe we're expecting it to be a bit more consistent than Misprint. Misprint on average is... The range for Misprint is 0 through 23, so I think the average means that it's plus 12, right? So for Raised Fist to be worth it, we're expecting it to hit plus 12 at the very least, which I think is probably feasible. Let's take the Spectral Pack first, because this is usually money positive. This time it's not. Grim and Incantation, I think, are both pretty bad, so we'll just full skip. Let's take the Raised Fist. We'll see how it goes. I think that's slightly more consistent than what we're doing right now. We have the straight. Okay, immediately punished for taking the Raised Fist, because now we're only getting plus 6. That's okay. We have some Wrathful Joker triggers to maybe offset that a little bit. 66 hundo. So we're still not close to winning. We're just not... We're surviving. We're just not exactly thriving. Which is fine for this stage of the game, but... Maybe if I'm saying the same thing at the beginning of next ante, that's a problem. We're not completely flat broke anymore either, which is pretty cool. Take the $4. We get the free Saturn card off of the Astronomer. That's pretty cool. Take one of these Arcana packs. Could take a Zawarudo or take a Devil. I kind of want to take Zawarudo, but I think that's throwing. I think we should always take the Devil card. I think Devil cards are worth so much money in the long term. Let's take another Arcana. Get a Hermit, get a Strength. Probably we just take the Hermit, go back to $20, go next. Orbital Tag is on 2 pair. That's cringe. Dr. House is going to be seeing us next blind. That's a little rough, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Okay, Raised Fist was a really bad play, I'm starting to realize. That's fine. We're still not dead, but in retrospect, it was kind of stupid. Okay, here it's going to be good, though. Here it's going to be a good hit. Plus 20. Decent. We get out. Plus $10. Throwback, pretty bad. Square Joker, also pretty bad. We can take a standard pack, expecting to get a blue seal, hopefully. We get a foil king and a glass king. Probably I skip here. Go next. Dodge the crystal ball to maintain interest value. Let's discard all of these. Maybe this is a straight. It is. We play the gold card. That's unfortunate. But we still score a straight. We get, like, roughly 6 grand. This might yield a straight. In fact, I think unless this is exactly a 9, this is guaranteed to yield a straight. So let's just ship it. Not terrible. Yeah, the Raised Fist is really bad. Fortunately, the Raised Fist is really not going to matter once we get to the point where we have, like, Saturn cards. But for right now, the Raised Fist is kind of showing how it was a misplay. Okay. Ante 5. $11. The burger probably doesn't matter. On any normal deck, the +3 hands is just pretty good because it's giving you more cards to see in your deck. But here it kind of doesn't matter. I don't think it's worth the Joker slot, even though plus hands are econ. Let's take these standards. Again, a blue seal here is pretty much what we're looking for, as is the case in, like, every Gold Stake game ever. Blue seals are just phenomenal. I'm going to take a perhaps greedy reroll here because I'm not really that satisfied with our score. We've played 22 straights, so the foil Supernova is just better than Raised Fist could ever hope to be. I don't have a straight here. I can discard like this, and now I do have a straight. Let's ship this. We have 8, 9, Queen, King. That is not a straight, so I got to discard a little bit more. I think probably we missed the boat for straight flushes. I think maybe if we had a little bit more money, we could pivot straight flushes. I mean, straight flushes are immense scaling, so maybe if we get, like, a really lucky Hermit or Temperance or something, we could still do it. But I feel like that ship has sailed, so to speak. Let's take the free Saturn card from the Astronomer. Could take Cartomancer here, and even if we don't want to pay rent on it, I could sell the Astronomer, take... card. I think that's probably not what I want to do here. Let's go next. I think probably we just go for the straights. I think we have, like I said, I think we missed the boat on straight flushes, unfortunately. It's a bit tragic, I know, but I think our deck fixing is just not where I would like it to be for us to play straight flushes. That being said, the arrowhead does make them a little enticing. Maybe if we get some X-Molt, you could twist my arm. We'll see. We'll see. For right now, I'm saying we should probably just keep going straights, but we'll see if we get any technology that enables the straight flush. Let's go for some discards, because I don't think we've found our gold card, so we can maybe find our gold card real quick. We do not find the gold card. Quite tragic. Ship it. We essentially just need any type of X-Molt, because our chips, especially so with the arrowhead, but like even without the arrowhead, our chips are like pretty much set for the whole game. Purple seal is completely fine. Let's go in here. Red seal I don't need. And then maybe with the astronomer, I don't want to sell these. What was the boss? I completely forgot what the boss is. Pillar. That's a little rough for arrowhead hits, but other than that, it doesn't really matter. Let's go for the 654. 98654. Ship this. This gets no arrowhead hits, which is very tragic. But that's okay. Queen Jack 8 is fine. Let's sell the Pluto so that I can get that purple seal hit. The glass card here is very nice. I have a straight here. I'm going to make a glass king. Put it in the back so that we can get a bit more score, since that first straight that we shipped was pretty bad. The glass king does break. That's unfortunate. I think I need to get rid of the gold. 2 6s, 2 5s, no aces. Probably I just discard 4 here. If this is the straight that I'm going for. Could also go for like 10s, 9s, things of the like. But then we don't have arrowhead hits. So I think this is the route. We get natty straight. Need one more straight or we're dead. Think we got it? We got it. Just barely getting out. Just barely scraping by. The supernova is helping quite a bit. I'm going to be very sad when that disappears. This has just not been a very nice run for planet cards, I'm starting to realize. Maybe we go for the smiley face over the wrathful for more molt, since we are not going straight flushes, presumably. Let's go for the free celestial real quick. Get a Saturn card. That's very nice. Let's do that. And then I can go into the standard. I need a blue seal ASAP. We do not get one. That's tragic. Go next. Should hopefully be fine into this blind. This is a really weird discard. This is a bad top deck, I'm not going to lie. I need a jack. Probably now I go for this. 98754 works. It's not the greatest, but it works. 18,000 points. Go for this. Queen Jack 10 8. But then I don't have anything else, so I need to ship a high card, and then I need to hit straights like every hand after this, so probably we're just losing here. It's achievable, but it's not looking the best. Ship it. 26,000 points. 10-8-7-6. Yeah, we did not top deck the straight, so we lose. So what could we have done different? Retrospectively, we could have not gotten the shortcut, but honestly, dude, we just got so scammed with planet cards. I'm just gonna keep it a stack. That feels like such a cop-out answer for what we did wrong, but we got like giga scammed with planet packs. We had an astronomer for so long, and I think we got 2 Saturn cards worth of value out of it while we were blocking 2 planets for like a couple full antes. That's really sad. That's actually tragic. Could have maybe kept Wrathful as well. I think in this particular blind, it would have added up to more Molt. The Rocket play was definitely far superior. I think the 2-pair here is what we got. Let's just pop the Neptune for no reason. 07s. Tragic. Well, we've lost the streak. It was due to my content creator brain. Dude, no Saturn cards was so annoying. We also just didn't find that good of plus Molt Jokers, I feel. That was... I don't know. We were chips maxing so hard. We found no planet cards, even with the Astronomer. I was a little greedy with Arcana packs, so probably we could have rerolled a bit more. That's probably where I went wrong the most. But level 5 straight, top of ante 6, is so rough. No blue seals in all of the standard packs that we opened. Man. So unfortunate. 1 reroll, though. Yeah, times rerolled Uno. Probably kind of bad. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. We have lost the streak. This was also a half hour's worth of a run, so probably I'm going to call it there. Chat, we'll be back mañana. Hopefully we'll actually win the game. Maybe we can start a new streak. Anyway. Don't take shortcut, apparently. No, that was definitely just a misplay on my part. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Love you guys. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see a particular deck on Gold Stake, or if you want to see, I don't know, a particular mod, particular challenge that you want me to do. Just literally anything. Let me know if you want me... Let me know what you want me to do. Aside from that, we'll be streaming tonight. Don't know what we're going to do for tonight's stream, but we will be streaming tonight. And yeah, that's about it. Love you guys. Stay safe. Sleep well. Have a good one, chat. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Treat others nicely. That starts with yourself.